And here we have the new HTC Hero device. This is the black model, as you can see. It actually has a kind of silver brushed aluminium kind of effect around the screen. It's Teflon coated, so it feels nice and smooth to the touch. It's got these beveled edges. 3.5mm jack there. XUSB connection on the bottom. We've got the volume buttons here. We've got no camera button, unlike the G1, but I believe the Magic didn't have a camera button either. On the front here we have the green button, the call button, the power and the end-call button, home button and menu button that we're used to seeing on Android, the trackball of course, the back button that we've seen on Android before, and here we've got a search button as well. And that will do a Google search on the home screen here. So as you can see, this has got HTC's new Sense UI. It's been floating around on the web a little bit, called Rosie. What HTC have done here is skinned Android to give it an almost kind of touch flow 3D enhanced feel. What we can see here is this device has been customized. It's got some sample data on here. You can flick between different things on the screen. There you go. There's a Twitter widget, for example, and you've got, you know, plenty of pages of stuff. There you go. You've got your bookmarks there, calendar, and that kind of thing. We've got some little widgets up here for turning on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. You know, much like you've seen from the Android market already. Clock here. Your usual shortcuts on the desktop, so you're not losing any of that functionality. Pictures and things. Nice background there. You'll notice that rather than the standard grey Android notifications bar, that's been skinned as well with a bit of shiny black polish. Same sort of deal, user interface wise, kind of drag up and down for functionality. You haven't got your one menu button here anymore. You've got a button here to bring out the menu. You've got a phone button, which predictably brings up the phone UI. You can do that with a green button as well. You've got an add button here for adding widgets and shortcuts and all that kind of stuff to the home screen. Just bring up the apps menu. Let's see what we've got different to what we would have seen before. Excuse me. We've got camcorder here. Disappointingly, the maximum resolution in the camcorder seems to be standard HTC fare. I wonder if it's a limitation of the chipset. If we pop up the resolutions there, we've got a maximum of 352 by 288, which is very poor and really not keeping up with advances elsewhere in this space. What else do we have of interest? We have HTC footprints, as we've seen on the Touch Cruise device. Google Mail Maps and Talk, the standard stuff for Android devices. We have HTC's own mail application, Android market of course. We have Peep, which is HTC's own Twitter client. Let's see if we've got any sample data in there. Yes, we have. There you go. You see our direct replies. It's kind of quite similar to the Twidroid app that you would have seen on the Android market, but HTC's own client. Quick Office preloaded, as we saw on the Canadian HTC devices, the Rogers devices. People here. There you go, that's a customised UI as well. Okay, let's just go back to that. Tita, weather, all the usual kind of stuff there. I'm just trying to think what else useful would be useful to look at rather. Okay, so in the dialer here we can dial people using smart dialing, which is a HTC enhancement to Android. Pop that down. Again, that brings up our people-centric thing again. If we go into the messaging app, you'll see another specific HTC enhancement. This has been leaked about a bit as well, but it comes as standards on the Hero. We compose a new message. There you go, you'll see HTC's new QWERTY device. Personally, I think the Cupcake Google QWERTY is a bit weak. This is far better. But you also have additional modes of phone keypad, which is the 12 key. And that's one I use on my device, I have to say. And you have the compact QWERTY, which is the 20 key, like we've seen on the T-Mobile Shadow, is it? And that's quite a nice experience as well if you kind of don't want the full QWERTY. You can see that Wii applications have been given a HTC look and feel as well, so that's kind of prevalent throughout the whole device. Little animation there on the clock as we came back to this screen. Music, a new music application. I think most people would agree that the music story in Android is a little bit weak, so it's interesting to see HTC doing their own thing there. We've got a voice recorder, weather app, PDF viewer, and it was announced today in the launch event that this will have support for Flash in full screen as well. Let's just fire up the browser to see what we have there. So, as you can see, multi-touch, iPhone styly. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, reflowing the text like we're used to seeing in Opera on Winmo. Okay, bookmarks. There we go, we have visual bookmarks, which look pretty sweet, I have to say. What else do we have? Let's just have a look at the album application. I would assume that HTC have worked their magic on that as well. There we go. Wow, that's interesting. There you go, you can send it to Facebook, Flickr, Peep, i.e. Twitter, and all that kind of stuff. Just open a picture. Not entirely sure what that is. There you go, we have multi-touch again.
Rotate work? No, device.
No. Yeah, there we go. Using the trackball there to flow through as well. Lots of pictures of cute cuddly animals, can't go wrong on a test content. As you see, the rotation of the device was super quick. Let's just take a picture. Press trackball to take photos. The light in here is super rubbish, so it's not going to light us very much. There you go. Save to SD card. And there you go, you can share straight from there to all the major services as well. I'm just wondering how we get into the deeper Facebook integration and social networks, I believe, is there. Let's just have a look. Groups, shopping birds. You know, the group for your shopping birds. Nice. So that's interesting. You can actually send a group message or send a group email, which I know is something people have wanted on Windows Mobile for quite a while. You can see who's in it there. That's interesting. It's got little Facebook logos next to those people. So if we click in there, I wonder where we see their Facebook stuff. Text messages. This is very much like the people-centric stuff we've seen on the Diamond 2 and the Pro 2. No updates or events. They'd be pulled from Facebook, one would assume. No albums again. There you go, a bit of cool history. So it's all very slick integration. We can set ringtones, add them to groups, load them up in Google Maps, all that kind of good stuff, really. So overall, it's interesting that we've seen TouchFlow 3 on Windows Mobile, and the complaint has always been that it doesn't go very deep into the OS. And maybe this HTC Sense on the Hero is an example of how deep it is possible to go in rebranding the whole experience. You probably wouldn't recognise this as an Android device unless you knew, I would say personally. Okay, and that's a quick tour around the HTC Hero. Keep an eye on motorco.com and tracyandmatt.co.uk for updates as we hear more about the device.